Yeah, so what's happening on the Cardano chart right now is not looking too good, but let me explain why. If you look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, Bitcoin dominance went to about 59.7%, which is actually very, very close to our 60% target. Well, it's 60.3%, so we were about 0.6% away from that target. And I don't know if we talked already, but judging by the RSI, I don't think we did. And I think it's very likely that we get to 60.3% and then we get a correction in November. And I was not expecting Bitcoin dominance to do this, but as you can see, this monthly candle is actually kind of big. So it's starting to look like what we did over here, to be honest with you. And if we get to like 61% or so this month, it could be very likely that we top in October on the Bitcoin dominance chart and we start the altcoin season in November. So this is why Cardano is looking very bad right now. It's because of Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance keeps rising, and as you can see this month, it went from 57% to almost 60%. And if we look at the 4-hour, we are overbought. So I think it's very likely that we continue to be overbought for the next couple of days and we get to 60%. And then once we get there, we will most likely get a huge correction in November. Because as I have mentioned many times in my previous videos, Bitcoin dominance always goes down in November. So it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And, I think the altcoin season is very close to happening. Now, if you look at the Bitcoin chart, as you can see, Bitcoin also keeps putting in lower lows, which is normal again, because the Bitcoin chart looks the exact same as the Bitcoin dominance chart, but this chart is, the upside version of that chart. I mean, as you can see in this cycle, we only went down in a straight line. We never actually had a pump like we did in the previous cycle right here. For example, right here or right here. No, here we went down in a straight line. And why is that? Well, if you look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, here we went up in a straight line. So yeah, we're just copying what we're doing on the Bitcoin dominance chart, but we're doing it upside down because ADA is suffering against Bitcoin right now. Now, before I talk about the Cardano Elliot wave count, I also want to talk about the Bitcoin Elliot wave count because this is very, very important. So as you can see, Bitcoin is still trying to go to that C-wave target, and it's currently in a 1-2A B structure, and I've already talked about this multiple times, but if you did not watch my previous videos, here after getting to about 49K, we formed a 1-2 setup. We held support levels, we held the trend line, and then after that we formed an AB structure of a third wave of this 1-2 setup, and we're still working on a C wave of this AB structure, and the C wave is expected to get to the 200% expansion of this AB structure, and that is at $80,000. And off that C wave, we only have the first two waves. As you can see, the first wave looks like it has a 3-wave move to the upside. And now we're in a second wave move down, or a B wave of that C wave. And maybe it's in already, but I cannot confirm that right now because, this does not really look like an ABC structure. I mean, maybe there is some kind of ABC structure on the 4-hour, but I do not really see it, to be honest with you. Or maybe it's a flat ABC structure, I don't know yet. But even so, I mean, to confirm that the second wave move down right here is in, we still need to get a break above 69K, 69.8K, and then a break above the trend line, and then we need to get to the 200% extension right here. And yeah, we'll see if that happens anytime soon. I mean, Bitcoin could realistically do this month, and it would make sense. But if it doesn't, and if it keeps going down in the second wave move down right here, you have to keep in mind that we have to stay above 61K to remain bullish for the short-term chart at least, because if we do not hold the support level right there, we will most likely get another blow in the B wave, and if we do that, we will most likely test this trend line right here, and if we do not hold it, then it's going to be very likely that we go down to about 49K again. And to be honest with you, I don't see this happening, because as you know, Bitcoin does not really go down in Q4 like ever, so you cannot really expect Bitcoin to drop like 30% in Q4 during a halving year. I don't think that's realistic, at least judging it by what happened in the past. So I still think that Bitcoin will get to about 100K by the end of the year, and I still think the altcoin season will start by the end of the year. Now, if you look at the Cardano chart, I mean, it's looking kind of sad, but then again, it's looking sad because Bitcoin dominance is very close to topping, and I think once Bitcoin dominance actually tops, then Cardano will finally start reversing. Now, what we need to hope for right now is that Bitcoin, the top, go down. If Bitcoin goes down right now, Cardano is very likely going to get another low in the second wave move down right here, only because it cannot really compete with Bitcoin right now, and in Bitcoin dominance is at a new cycle high. Cardano cannot really do anything about that, so, you know, it's not looking too good, but it makes sense why it's not looking good. As you can see, we broke below the trend line here, so I don't even know if there's any point in having this on the chart anymore. I'll keep it for the time being, but you know, we also dropped below the support level, we dropped below the 0.786 support level, but we did not invalidate this 1-2 setup, at least not yet. But if we do invalidate this 1-2 setup, then you can expect the price to go below this low right here, which is at about 30.2 cents. And that will form another second wave move down. Well, it will most likely be some kind of ABC structure for the second wave move right here. And that's not really going to be that great, because if it is some kind of ABC structure, I mean, it could always break down, because we would be so close to this low right here, it would be insane. And if we do get below 30.2 cents, it's going to be very likely that we drop below 27.7 cents as well. And we go to about 25 cents, maybe 24 cents, and then we start reversing when the altcoin season happens. Now, there's still hope. I mean, we could start reversing now, and to confirm that the B wave is already in, we need some kind of 5-wave move to the upside, or at least get above the A wave right here, and then above the trend line right here. But yeah, I mean, I don't think that will happen, to be honest with you, unless Bitcoin dominance starts going down right now. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. And like I said, if we somehow invalidate the whole 1-2 setup, then maybe we will actually test this other trend line that I have on the chart. Let me go on the daily for this. So as you can see, this trend line that I have also has 3 touch points, and maybe it's not required that we get another second wave move down right here. Maybe we just need to test the trend line again and get to about 29 cents, and then we can start reversing. I mean, that would also be the case, because at the end of the day, Cardano is still in an uptrend right now, so, you know, you also have to keep that in mind. Now, I don't want to talk about the bullish wave count for now, because, you know, there's nothing bullish right now. But once Cardano starts going up, and if it goes up anytime soon, then I will talk about what I have as my bullish alternative. But for now, I mean, the other alternative is not bearish, but I'm expecting another low if we do not hold this 1-2 setup right here. Now, like I said many times in my previous video, the structure that we are getting right now looks very similar to the structure that we got right here in the previous cycle. As you can see here, we also had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setup to form a first wave move. Then in the second wave move down, we went down for approximately 7 months or so, and we went below the 0.786 support level. And as you can see here, we also had a cross on the bull market support band, just like we did a month ago as well. And as you can see, after we had this cross right here, the price did not instantly go up. The price actually continued to put in lower lows in the second wave move down for a few more months before it actually had a pump right here. Now, ignore this drop, because this is the pandemic drop, and, you know, it continued going up, like I said, if you ignore this. So yeah, the structure looks very similar. Now we have to keep in mind that this did not happen at the same time of the cycle, so this actually happened, well, it ended at the beginning of the previous halving year, and right now it's the end of the halving year, and they're still not done with the second wave move down. So this happened way earlier in the cycle, and where we are at right now is right here. So this is what Cardano was doing in the previous halving year. As you can see, Cardano was at about, let's say, 10 cents or so. And if you look at what was happening with Cardano in October, as you can see, Cardano actually dropped quite a lot in October. It dropped about 30% in a matter of 12 days. And then when November started, we actually started going up, and we went up about 100% in November. So we're just copying what did in this previous cycle right here, but we are also copying this structure right here. So I'm still expecting a Cardano pump in November, and I'm still expecting Bitcoin dominance to go down in November. And if Bitcoin dominance goes down, then of course Cardano is going to go up. And if Cardano follows what we did in the previous cycle and goes down at the end of October and then recovers at the beginning of November, then, you know, it would make sense, and it would go perfectly well with the fact that Bitcoin dominance also has to go down in November, just because it went down in the previous years as well. And that's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, check out our gold memberships if you want us to cover a specific altcoin for you. And make sure to also check out our Patreon. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.